Voilà, séance donc maintenant, après la photo officielle que nous vous avons proposée il y a quelques instants, on est sur le FIA Meet the Cruise, avec notamment Solberg, Johan Rossel, Camille Rumeau, Soashkini, Dominguez, pendant une petite dizaine de minutes. Et là, évidemment, ce sont les parties interview qui sont réalisées avec l'ensemble des pilotes que je viens de citer à l'instant, ici, au pied de la rampe de l'Automobile Club de Monaco. De Monte-Carlo, première étape 100% nocturne, 3 épreuves spéciales qui sont programmées, 3 spéciales chronométrées à partir de 18h05 pour la première, Digne-les-Bains, Chaudon-Norante, Faucon du Caire-Bréziers, ce sera la 2e spéciale à partir de 19h53 et Avançon Notre-Dame-du-Los, donc 3e spéciale pour aujourd'hui. À partir de 21h06, 13 km, pratiquement 14 km, quasiment à 30 mètres près, 14 km pour cette 3e et dernière spéciale pour aujourd'hui. Demain, le programme pour cette 2e.
Meet the Crew session here in the fabulous Casino Square for the start of Rallye Monte-Carlo. And we begin with our FIA Support Championships.
So, can you please welcome on stage our WRC 2 drivers and our WRC 3 drivers. First up, it's Eric Amili. Next up, we have another Frenchman, Johan Russell. Another WRC 2 driver, it's Rachele Somonici. And another female driver, it's Sarah Rameau. And finally, in the WRC 3 category, it's Diego Dominguez. Now, Eric, can you pick up a microphone first? Because you're first, actually. Eric, obviously, welcome on stage. It's so good to have you here again. Remarkably, it's your 8th start in Monte-Carlo, and last time you were here in 2022, so you've missed a couple of years. I guess that's good motivation, again, to get going. You're obviously from Nice, you're a local, this is your home event. How are you feeling about getting started?
Yes, I'm so excited to be back, yes, after 3 years missing the WRC event, so it's really nice. It's really nice to be back. I'm looking forward, of course, to start. Will be tricky condition and so on, but I'm really happy to to be there, and with Hyundai, it was a big project to start this campaign this year, and continuing our French Championship as well in the same time. So it will be a big year, but yes, first let's see how it will be tonight. It will be difficult, and but we see.
Obviously, being a local now, you've got a little bit of insight on the weather. It's been changing for the last few days. How do you feel it's going to impact the weekend?
Monte is always complicated. So, and I think this year with the rain, will be even more complicated with a lot of corners, with a lot of mud and so on. So a bit icy as well. So yes, will be a lot of changing conditions, and yeah, will be tricky, but it will be the same for everyone. So let's see tonight.
And obviously, you did the warm-up event a couple of weeks ago as the course car, but you still have valuable seat time in the Hyundai i20. Is that give you an advantage?
Yes, of course. I know very well the car, so I developed the car. This is the step 2, actually. So this is like some evolution on the car. I did the French Championship with this car last year. It went really well, so that's why we are here. And yeah, we are here to show the car and show the potential.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Best of luck, Eric. If you'd be kind enough to pass the microphone over to Johan. I think you're having fun on those chairs. Musical chairs here. Johan Rossell, Citroën C3 driver. You've got lots of experience here in Rally Monte-Carlo. We all remember that fantastic battle last year with Pepe Lopez. You won it on the power stage, on the last stage. You want to replicate that this year? I'm sure you'd take the win.
I don't know. It's a bit early for saying that, but the plan for sure is to play for the win, to do no mistake at the beginning, and stay on the road for sure. Especially this weekend after the rain, the snow during the recce. But let's see. I think it's the same for everybody, and. My plan is just to enjoy and begin the rally like a normal rally.
And this year, you're competing against your younger brother Leo. So how's the sibling rivalry, and have you been giving him some tips?
For sure, no easy. Yesterday, I look too much this is on board, his time, and I think I need to focus on my race, and for sure I help him at my maximum this year, and but the plan is to continue my career also, and but for sure it's incredible to be in the same team.
You've been here a few times before, of course, but how is the feeling? New season, the anticipation, you're looking forward to it, and what's it going to take tonight to get out there and get ahead of Eric on that first 3 stages?
It's never easy to say what happened on this race. It's always a surprise. You need to take corner per corner, and let's see. For sure, 3 stages tonight, it's the first time, I think. Stay calm and a good tire choice, and let's see what I can do it.
Good luck.
Good luck, bon chance. And now we're moving on to Raquel. Obviously, Raquel committing to a season of WRC2 is fantastic news. How important is it to make this commitment and step up into the championship?
Yes, it's the first time here. So here in Monte, I was there 5 years ago, but it was a lot of time ago. And I'm so happy because it's a dream that comes true to be here in WRC program. I know it will be tough, of course, but I will do with full commitment. So I hope to enjoy and also to manage tricky condition and everything.
Obviously, you said 5 years ago. That was quite a long time ago. Now, what was your experience like on the recce?
On recce was tough, but we faced everything, like some dirty corners and everything. So also snow, verglas. So we have to make a good choice of tires and also manage everything.
And my next question is in Italian, actually, you'll be thankful. La partnership continua di Nicola Arena. Quanta fiducia ti dà Verdi di un copilota con così tanta esperienza?
L'italiano?
Sì.
Beh, sicuramente avere Nicola al mio fianco con così tanta esperienza, non so quanti Monte-Carlo lui abbia fatto, 11, ok? Però sicuramente saprà darmi i migliori consigli, anche perché è proprio una gara di strategia, quindi immagino che sarà la scelta più difficile quella di essere per lo più pressoché diciamo nella condizione migliore.
Grazie mille.
Grazie.
Bocca al lupo. And next we have Sarah. Sarah, you've got a microphone. Good. Sarah, you're making history. The first all-female crew in the full WRC2 program. Obviously, that's fantastic news. How are you feeling going into the weekend?
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here. It's a great opportunity for me. Thank you, my team, Iron Dams. It's a big step for sure. So it's important for me to take maximum pleasure, to take experience. And my goal is just finish to rally, finish my first stage, and yes, to progress step by step.
Obviously, the Iron Dames make a huge impact in women in motorsport. Are you happy to be wearing the pink colour and promoting this all-girl crew?
Yes, it's the best team, Iron Dames. It's the best color. So it's important for us to take maximum pleasure and experience during this year.
Merci, bonne chance.
I will move on to you, Diego. You are the reigning WRC3 champion. Congratulations. First time in Monte-Carlo, though, and they don't come any harder. It's going to be some challenge. How's the recce, first of all?
Well, first of all, hi, everyone. And yes, I'm reigning champion. But for sure, it's going to be so difficult to win here. It's my first time. Recce was very tricky. And from what I heard from the other drivers, it's going to be a lot more tricky than last year. So yeah, just our main goal is to get to Sunday without any scratches on the car.
And this season, you're also competing in the junior category. You've got some unfinished business there, I believe.
Yes, we're going to be doing a lot of rallies this year. It's a very busy calendar, but yeah, unfinished business with juniors, and it's also a very good complement for our WRC2 campaign. So we're going to be running pretty much the whole calendar except for Estonia at the moment. So yes, very happy with our calendar, and for sure it's going to be a very busy one.
Best of luck to you, Domingo.
And thank you to all of our 5 drivers sitting here, Eric, Johan, Raquel, Sarah and Diego. Good luck for the weekend. We will now be joining Bex William up in Gap with our FIA WRC team principals.
Thank you very much, everyone in Monaco. We are ready for our Meet the Crew session here in the heart of the service park in Gap. And we have our team principals to welcome to the stage, representing our manufacturer champions from 2024, Toyota, we have Kai Lindström. Representing M Sport Ford, we have Richard Milliner. And hopefully shortly representing Hyundai, we will also have Cyril Abiteboul. Welcome to you all, guys, on what is going to be, I'm sure, a fantastic Rally Monte-Carlo. Welcome, Cyril. I think we're all feeling a little bit of nerves ahead of what is one of the classic events on the calendar. Kai, I'm going to start with you because the Monte brings the nerves, it brings the glamour in Monaco, but also it brings the darkness in the stages that we're going to see tonight. How's the anticipation ahead of the event? How's the team feeling?
Like you mentioned, it's a difficult event, and then being the first event of the season, some technical regulation changes, new tire supplier. There's a lot of new things for I believe, for all the teams, and all that together, you know, we are a bit nervous, I think, all of us.
C'est un événement assez compliqué, assez difficile à appréhender. Voilà, il y a des choses à prendre en compte comme les nouveaux manufacturiers de pneus, il y a une nouvelle saison qui se prépare, il y a le changement de réglementation avec l'hybride. Donc voilà, c'est une nouvelle saison qui est très intéressante et avec les autres teams. On est très impatients de nous voir commencer.
Obviously, Kai, you have the Monte Master as part of the team. Sébastien Ogier with 9 Monte-Carlo wins under his belt. It's very difficult to look away from him when you look to Monte wins, but Mr. Neuville took it last year. Whose game is it this year, would you say? Where are you putting your money?
Well, if those are the choices, I will pick Sepp. No, for sure, Sepp is experienced here. He knows this rally very well. But so does the other drivers, so I think it will be something that we have to wait for a few stages to see where we stand.
Yeah, absolutely.
C'est sûr que Sébastien Ogier est très expérimenté et que voilà, on met toutes nos chances sur ce pilote. Mais voilà, on a tous nos pilotes qui sont très prêts pour cette nouvelle édition. Et donc voilà, pour le moment, on ne peut pas encore vraiment dire comment ça va se dérouler, mais voilà, on est prêts pour cette nouvelle saison avec tous nos pilotes.
Kai, thank you very much. Let's turn to Cyril Abiteboul now. You mentioned, well, Kai mentioned it, technical regulation changes. There's a lot going on. There's non-hybrid this year, a new point system as well, and you have a new driver as part of your team in Adrien Fourmeau. How is Hyundai feeling ahead of a brand new season, Cyril? Oh, hold on.
Need to do something? Oui, yes.
There you go.
Continue there. All right.
Let's hope that's the only technical failure of the weekend, Cyril.
If it is, I take that. I would be very surprised. Anyway, no, look, I mean, for season start, we're feeling good. In general, we're happy to be here. You know, happy to be back and having the opportunity to defend Thierry's title. So I think there is a good mood, there is a good vibe. But specifically here, Monte-Carlo, as Kai mentioned, lots of things. I think no one really has any clue. With all the changes of the winter, it didn't sort of look like big regulation change, but actually, you know, the gap are so narrow. If you look at last year, that we know that it's going to have an impact, and who's going to get it right, who's going to be favored by the change, we have absolutely no idea. So feeling good, but feeling a little bit, you know, looking forward to it, but a bit concerned with all the unknowns that we are going to be facing in the coming hours.
A lot of unknown, especially going into the darkness tonight. Talk to me a little bit about Adrien Fourmeau. Obviously, he's not been with the team very long, and I'm sure Rich Milner is not so happy with you right now, because at Ford last year, he excelled, and you spotted that, and you've nabbed him for this season. What are your thoughts so far on his personality, his demeanour, and what he can do?
Yeah, I think what we want is simply that he keeps on doing what he's been doing so brilliantly in the last 2 years. He was strong last year. He was even strong also the year before. So, you know, keeping his head very focused on the mission, on the right mission, which is a team mission, not an individual mission, is what we expect from him. And in return, he knows that he can get the large support from a manufacturer. And I think that's also what we want to see is him learning on how to best leverage on the depth of resources that we have available, the amount of information that we can provide to him. He's got a team around him, but he needs to keep on doing the team games, which I have no doubt he can do.
En français, s'il vous plaît.
Ah, moi-même, s'il vous plaît. Bonjour à tous déjà. Non, je disais donc sur la question de la saison, la première question, on est tous très heureux d'être là. On est heureux d'avoir l'opportunité de défendre notre titre pilote avec Thierry sur cette saison. Donc tout le monde a plutôt la banane, la gnaque. C'est clair, c'est un élément de motivation de plus. Donc très heureux. Après, spécifiquement sur ce rallye, ça va être compliqué. Les conditions vont être très compliquées, beaucoup plus compliquées que les éditions précédentes. Et puis, il y a eu pas mal de petits changements. C'est des petits changements, mais avec des écarts qui étaient finalement très faibles l'année dernière. On sait que ces petits changements vont avoir finalement des impacts qui peuvent être assez grands finalement sur les classements. Et on ne sait pas trop qui finalement va être au-dessus. Après, sur la seconde question sur Adrien, on est très content et c'est parce qu'il a excellé dans son environnement M-Sport au cours des des dernières années que effectivement on a décidé de le prendre. Ce qui est un peu une première, c'est la première fois que Hyundai va pour une troisième voiture avec un équipage permanent. Donc c'est vraiment un changement de cap, un changement de direction. Et sa mission est claire, c'est justement de jouer vraiment le jeu de l'équipe et de continuer la progression qu'il a entamée au cours des dernières années en maximisant tout ce qu'on peut lui apporter en tant qu'équipe usine.
Merci beaucoup, Cyril. Rich Miller, let's turn to you now. Tell me first and foremost, Cyril bought you a really great Christmas present, right? After stealing your driver?
I think he brought it with him. I haven't been to see him yet to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, look, I mean, Adrian deserves every opportunity he had. He put in some fantastic results over the last couple of years, and sadly we weren't in a position to match the offer, and he fully deserves that opportunity, and I'm actually very excited to watch him and see what he can do. I think it will be a new challenge for him, not an easy challenge, and I think it was the right point in his career to go somewhere else and experience being up against in the same team as two world champions, but also, as Cyril says, play the team game. It's not easy. Drivers are often individuals, so it will be exciting to watch from that side, because obviously he's a very good friend as well, and it's great to see him have this opportunity.
Heureux du cadeau de Noël que Cyril vous a apporté. Voilà, il est très conscient que toute opportunité pour Adrien est à saisir, et que voilà, il n'y a pas de mauvaises pensées. Tant mieux pour Adrien qui commence cette nouvelle carrière avec Hyundai, avec ses résultats qui ont été très impressionnants ces 2 dernières années, et que voilà, ce sera intéressant de regarder sous un autre œil du coup les progrès de Adrien et de pouvoir lui souhaiter le meilleur dans sa prochaine carrière.
I think what is exciting about M Sport this year, Rich, is that you're back to the really young team, and the huge opportunity that has been afforded to Josh McAlean stepping into Rally 1 for the first time. Gregoire Munster now with the most experience leading the team forward. It's young, it's exciting, and we're all keen to see what they can do. What's your hope for them this year?
Just build each rally, build through the season, improve their confidence. Let them. The good thing is we have no expectation. The lineup in the other two teams is so strong. Like I said with Adrian, we were unable to keep him, so it was a complete refocus. There's no point trying to fight them with drivers that we know can't fight them. So let's go completely different, back to the roots of what M Sport's always done. Give 2 new drivers, one brand new, one semi-new driver that opportunity again. I think Gregoire can continue to improve from where we saw last year. Some very good pace on selected parts of each rally. We want to see that improve to a more consistent approach. And for Josh, sadly, the Monte-Carlo is probably the hardest way to make your debut. This year it looks even harder with the weather conditions. But on the flip side, that can often be a bit of a leveler with the new tyres as well. There's all to play for, and if he can get these nerves out of the way tonight, we're very excited to see how he goes. So I'm just looking forward to a nice season, good team spirit, and we'll do the best of what we can with the team and the equipment we have.
C'est sûr que voilà, comme si on partait d'une nouvelle page blanche, on a un pilote qui est expérimenté dans une année et un nouveau pilote. Ça va être assez compliqué, contrairement aux autres teams, de pouvoir se bagarrer. Mais voilà, on garde espoir. On a une nouvelle saison qui est devant nous, même si pour Josh c'est un peu compliqué le Monte-Carlo comme début. Voilà, on a les avantages de nouveaux manufactureurs de pneus, pardon. Donc voilà, on garde espoir. On a un gros projet qui est devant nous, mais on est confiant.
Thank you very much to all of you. We're looking forward to seeing the opening stages tonight here at Rally Monte-Carlo. Let's head back now, though, down to Monaco and rejoin Meet the Crews with Emma and Dakota.
Everybody to our Meet the Crew session here in Casino Square. And next up we have our P1 drivers. Could you please welcome on stage our reigning world champion representing Hyundai Shell Mobus World Rally Team. It's Thierry Neuville. Next up, and new in from M Sport Ford World Rally Team is Josh McAlean. And please put your hands together for the King of Rally, 9-time winner representing Toyota Gazoo Racing WRT. It's Sebastian Ogier. And finally, also driving for the Toyota Gazoo Racing WRT, it's 2-time world champion, Kaylee Roberge.
Yeah, good, you? Excited? Yeah.
Well, what a lineup of drivers. Thierry, we'll start with you, reigning champion. New season always starts with a lot of optimism, full of hope. But how does it feel starting with #1 on the car? You must be pumped.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, first of all, very excited to be here. To kick off a new season and such a beautiful and iconic place. So, yeah, really happy. And, yeah, having the #1 in the car is obviously something super cool and I'm happy about. But from now, it starts everything from zero again. And the job won't be any easier. It will be really tough championship again with actually one more round added to the championship this year. Couple of new rallies. So lots of excitement ahead of this new season.
But you had the perfect start here last year, winning. How important is it to you to recreate that result to get your campaign off to a strong start?
Yeah, I mean, obviously last year we were able to take the maximum of points out of the first event of the season, and from there on we kept the lead throughout the whole championship. Nevertheless, we all know Rallye Monte-Carlo is a very special event, very difficult to actually get to the finish on this tricky event, and the only target we really can have is trying to optimize our weekend, don't make any mistakes, try to get through and see where we are within the fight during the weekend and adapt our strategy accordingly. But it's not much more than this at the moment, what we are planning. I mean, trying to get a good feeling, hopefully tonight already for the car and obviously the new tires. This will be crucial with missing experience, but yeah, it's a great challenge and it's for everybody the same situation at the moment.
Thank you, best luck.
Bon chance. And next we're moving on to Josh. Josh, you ready? Obviously, your first full season competing at the top level with M Sport. How are you feeling ahead of this new challenge?
Yeah, the feeling's good. Obviously, a lot of excitement. To be sitting with 3 world champions is quite surreal here in Casino Square. But honestly, it's going to be a big challenge for us. It's a big step from obviously last year in Rally 2 into M Sport, the whole team, the car, a new co-driver, new tires. So yeah, I think Terry says new tires, but everything's new for me. So yeah, I'm not expecting much for tonight or even into tomorrow. It's more to build on it throughout the weekend.
Obviously not for tonight or tomorrow. This is a fan question, actually. Obviously, you're excited to get going. But what are your goals for not necessarily this rally, because you just answered that, but the whole season in general?
Yeah, I think we have to be consistent, get the mileage. Obviously, it's a big year. It's 14 rounds. It's not something I've been so used to in the past. So, yeah, it's a new experience from that side. But, yeah, we want to build it step by step, be progressive, and, yeah, get the end of most events.
Thanks very much, Josh. Good luck.
Moving on to you, Seb. 8 times world champion, 9 times Rally Monte-Carlo champion. It's incredible to think that possibly on Sunday we'll be saying 10 times Monte-Carlo world champion. Obviously, that's the goal.
It is, but at the moment, you know, I always come to this event with the same humility starting it. I know it's one of the most difficult one of the season, you know, started already tonight in the dark. It's never an easy moment to kick off a season. And yeah, the most important is that I'm still here. I still enjoy being part of this show, and yeah, still with a good team around me. So of course, we'll do our best to be competitive one more time and fight for the win.
You're local to Gap, of course. You've got some stages very close to home. The route is a little bit different today. What are your thoughts on the changes to the route?
Yeah, compared to last year, a lot of changes, but generally there is many sections that we've been doing in the past. The thing is, on this rally, even if you've done the stage in the past, the probability that the conditions are similar are very small. So winter conditions are always different somehow, which means every time you come here and have to make a lot of work with your gravel crew and try to yeah, get maximum information also during recce to be prepared. But the challenge is big, and Saturday there is this most newest section that more or less nobody know, I think, and it's going to be a difficult day, but I don't see any easy places, to be honest. So let's try to have a decent start tonight and see what we can do.
Best luck, Seb.
And obviously moving on to you, Callie, last. After a partial season in 2024, you're back full time. Are you ready for the challenge this year, especially with the new updates?
Yeah, it's really cool to be back full time. It's of course always a really different feeling what you have going to start the season when you know you have the long championship fight ahead of you. So yeah, it's always exciting. Monte is a difficult one, and yeah, especially this year we have some updates and new tires and stuff. So there is many new things to learn, and yeah, I think in the beginning of the season, and here especially, who learns them the quickest, the team and the drivers can do some good job.
This was a fan question. Obviously, a rally is very demanding. What do you eat on a rally?
What do I eat? It depends. During the lunch, something quite light, maybe fish or chicken, something like this, and then yeah, usually some meat in the dinner.
And another fan question, what kind of music do you listen to?
That depends always what kind of feeling we have inside the car. If we have some long road sections, actually in the race car also, we listen to some music, and yeah, it depends. If we need to stay calm, we listen to something more calm, and if we need to fight, then it's something more aggressive.
And back to my final question, Monte-Carlo, is there a key stage that you think could decide who could win the rally?
To win it, I don't think here is any key stage. I think the key here is to be consistently fast through the weekend and no issues. I think that's always the key.
Thank you very much. Good luck for your weekend.
And that's it. Thank you, everybody. Gentlemen, you've got a busy night ahead. 3 stages tonight. Good luck, everybody. It's Thierry Neuville, Kalle Rovanperä, Josh McLean, and Sébastien Ogier. Thank you.
Rounds over 4 continents. From the frozen trails on the edge of the Arctic Circle, through the sweeping plains of East Africa, the rainforests and mountain passes of South America, to the desert dunes and autumnal hues of Asia, the World Rally Championship has it all. 3 recent world champions, all determined to win another driver's title. An 8-time champion who can still beat them all, back to apply pressure when it counts. But the sands of time are shifting for WRC. Young pretenders knock at the door, and they'll all have their role to play. What a season we have in prospect, and as always, it all begins with the biggest challenge of them all, Rally Monte-Carlo.
Well, a very warm welcome to the start of the 2025 season. Casino Square in Monte-Carlo is exactly where we are. Thank you if you did just join us for the Meet the Crews. Emir, of course, there and in the studio with me for the next half an hour, keeping you company. Emir, another season and the perfect place, as always, to start.
There's nowhere better, is there? The 93rd running of Rally Monte-Carlo, but it's just magical. It's just the history of the event. I mean, just saying the name Monte Carlo, it just sounds right, doesn't it? Where else would you start a season? And you know what? It's going to be epic. I can't wait.
New rounds added as well, different locations. It is going to be an adventurous 14 rounds throughout the whole of this year. Now, if you were just watching Meet the Crews, or if you've just joined us, welcome along. But if you were just watching Meet the Crews, you would have heard Sébastien Ogier saying that he always has plenty of humility coming into Monte-Carlo. He's won it, like you told him, 9 times. He's going to want a 10th. However, it is incredibly tricky, and this is the toughest since 2018.
Yeah, and he knows better than anybody, like he said there. He can drive those stages as many times as he likes, but the weather conditions just make them different every time. There's no 2 times the same, but for him to say that after winning it 9 times, just, you know, sets the scene, doesn't it? So you've got poor old Josh McLean coming in there then, who's sitting next to him.
It's very definitely that word, the baptism of fire, isn't it?
Oh my goodness me, yeah. And yeah, no, you summed it up. You've got to respect the rally, and that's what it's about. And tonight, I think it's going to be really, really difficult first 3 stages. So let's see what happens.
Well, respect the rally indeed, because like you were talking about, those weather conditions just change ever so much. We had shakedown yesterday. Oyk Tanak was fastest through, if you are wondering. Oliver Solberg fastest through in the WRC 2. But in terms of the conditions, they were muddy. They got worse as the stage graduated. It got worse and worse. But tonight we'll see some ice. We'll see some very tricky conditions. Then tomorrow we may see snow.
Absolutely. And don't forget, it's a tarmac rally. It's been raining really heavily, and that shakedown basically showed us what's going to happen. It's a big advantage to be first on the road here. Once they start cutting, that pollution is going to get thrown all over the tarmac, or all over the ice, whichever they're driving on. But yeah, it's going to be wet, it's going to be slippy, it's going to be really, really difficult for them to judge. You know, lamp pods are on, it's in the dark. I can't think of a more daunting way to start a rally, you know. These drivers, you can almost smell the anticipation in the air. They're really nervous, you know. They look pretty cool up there. But inside, I think the butterflies are going round. They're thinking, oh my God.
Justifiably so as well. With 3 stages tonight, 2 of those are going to be in the dark. Now, we've got new engines in terms of no hybrid, new tyres and a new world champion. But what does all that mean? Well, take a look at this.
Changes have been introduced to the sporting regulations for 2025. The remote service returns in a bid to engage the sport with fans new and old out closer to the action. The driver and co-driver have 20 minutes to work on their cars and will be joined by a maximum of 3 mechanics. Only spare parts and equipment carried in the car may be used, apart from tyres and a limited amount of shock absorber, suspension, steering and drive shaft components.
Opened up the regulations slightly that if you're in the same manufacturer team, you can actually work on your teammates' cars. So, for example, if Josh was to have a problem and Greg was available during the road section and had some spare time, he could actually help Josh work on his car. So I think it's a really fantastic idea that builds a little bit on what we see in off-road championships, but also gets around some of these examples we've seen in the past where you have crews from the same team giving direction and instruction to the driver but not allowed to touch the car, whereas now they're allowed to get involved and help. So again, it helps to try and keep cars in the event, but at the same time it also could create some great storylines.
Hankook is the WRC's exclusive new tyre supplier, and as expected, all the teams have been putting the Korean brand through its paces in their Monte-Carlo testing. Initial impressions are good. Another performance change is the dropping of the hybrid system. The loss of power would never be relished by the drivers, but they will enjoy the cars being lighter and therefore more nimble. An update to the point system for WRC 2025 marks a sharper focus and reward for rally wins, enhancing the competition while ensuring the rally winner are more likely to claim the biggest prize. The general classification points awarded at the end of each rally follow a simplified scale, with the top 10 finishers earning from 25 down to 1. Unlike 2024, no points will be allocated based on Saturday's position. A Super Sunday bonus will be on offer, with the fastest 5 crews across the complete Sunday earning additional points as follows. It's as you were for the power stage, with 5 points for the quickest crew through the end of rally shootout, down to 1 point for the 5th fastest. The maximum points haul from a weekend, therefore, is 35.
Even if you're going to win the event, you still need to push on a Sunday to take some extra points if you want to keep fighting for the championship. And obviously we have taken lots of points last year with the power stages and the Super Sundays, and those points are still going to be as crucial as they have been in 24.
Well, there we go. That all sums up exactly what is going to happen this season in terms of the newness. Well, the point system may be slightly different, but Super Sunday is still super. So you can get the accumulation of 25 points throughout the rally, but Sunday has got more points. Power stage, always more points.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite a fan of last year's point system, but I think they've improved it again, haven't they? Because, yeah, for a few years, we were getting some cruising on a Sunday. Because if you're leading a rally and there's nothing to fight for, you know, why would you risk it? So bringing in the Super Sundays definitely eliminated that. And it's great as well if you do have an issue on the Friday or the Saturday and you can get your car fixed overnight, you can come back in. And now there's 10 points to win on a Sunday now, 5 for the Sunday and 5 for the power stage. So yeah, so everything's not lost and it makes for a better championship. And you know, more points available all weekend as well. So
things to remember: points win prizes, 10 points up for grabs on Sunday. Sunday's still super and the power stage is still business as always. Well, we've got a whole new team lineup as well for many of our teams.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be really, really, really busy in Toyota. That's all right. There, you okay there?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be really busy in Toyota. The garage, when I was in service yesterday, just goes on and on and on. The bays just go on. And I just heard a little rumour there. Tucker, bless him. I think he's got a bit of a fever. I'm not sure if he's going to be okay.
I've just caught it.
Maybe you have. Yeah.
All right. Well, while we're talking about the new teams coming up through the season, and also while I'm coughing, let's take a look at this and have a look at who's where.
Early January in the French Southern Alps, and for the locals, the familiar sound of World Rally cars at full speed rings through the air. Pre-event testing for Rally Monte-Carlo has been well underway. It's an intense programme for all involved and absolutely vital to preparations.
The biggest thing for sure is the tire manufacturer change. You know, it's something that again creates some unknown. It's something we need to get experience with and learn to use, learn to understand. You know, how the tires are working, and obviously, you know, it's a big thing in rallying. You know, to know the tires. So I guess yeah, this will add some spice at least for the beginning of the season.
World champion Thierry Neuville starts the season with the #1 on the side of his car and a target on his back. The Belgian will be aware that his rivals are out to get him, more so than ever before.
Definitely we took off some weight of our shoulders for the championship fight or title we want to get. And nevertheless, the pressure of performing well, the pressure of bringing home points for the manufacturer, and the pressure of trying to be the best is still going to be there, and that pressure is very much needed as well to give our very best in any kind of situation and to never give up. We need to give our very best to defend our title. We can't do anything less than we did last year.
One of the biggest threats comes from the closest to home. Teammate Oyt Tanak, no doubt determined to exorcise the demons of missing out on the title to Neuville in the final round of last season.
Japan, we were very, very strong. We were clearly leading, but one small mistake, and you know, it was all in the bin. So it was hard to swallow that, but you know, lessons learned, and we go again this year. We are definitely much stronger, and I believe well prepared. So yeah, we definitely have our eyes on the target.
Hyundai have adjusted their strategy. Adrian Formeau joins the team as their first ever full-time third driver, and wrestling the manufacturer's title from the dominant grasp of Toyota ranks high on the priority list.
That would be, I think, the best move I've done in my career. To move to Hyundai and get my first victory. The aim is to get it. We had 5 podiums last year, and I was chasing the victory, and I missed it. So I hope we're gonna get it this year, and we are fully focused for that. My aim for this championship is to get the fight for the podium of the championship, and also to get my first victory. And then also for the team, if we do that, I think we're going to bring some good points for the manufacturer championship, so then it's going to be positive.
Over at Toyota, double world champion Kalle Rovanperä returns.
Yeah, it's cool to be back for the full season. Of course, it's a really different feeling always.
being prepared and excited, of course, for the full year and the fight for the title. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting again. But of course, since last year, Thierry has to be one of the top guys to beat. Everybody is after him now. So yeah, we are also. It's a different situation for us also. We are after him, and yeah, let's see how it goes and who will be in the fight.
The Toyota Gazoo racing lineup is a mix of young talents and title-winning experience. With a commitment to run at least 4 GR Yaris Rally 1 cars at every event, they'll be hard to beat in the Manufacturers' Championship. And each of the driver lineup has a specific role to play.
We know the team is looking strong for this year with 5 drivers or 4 full-time drivers, plus Seb coming obviously for some rallies as well. So I think we have a pretty strong lineup as a team. But of course, from an individual point of view, the goal is always to fight for the events and for the titles.
I think my experience always been a good asset for the team in terms of strategy, tires and things like this. But you know, at the end of the day, we are all in our cars and we have to do the job. So I'll do my best, of course, to help TGR. It's been a pleasure working together now, and I think I actually start my longest relationship ever with any team in a row, which is good. Means I feel good with Toyota, and yeah, let's try to enjoy.
WRC2 champion Sami Pairi steps up to a full campaign with Toyota and is relishing the prospect of driving alongside Ogier, Rovanperä and Evans.
Of course, it's really amazing to be teammate with those great people. Of course, they have achieved really nice things, but they are also really nice in fashion. I've been really lucky and happy about it. Like even last year, before Rally Finland, I shared a test day with Sepp Ogier, which was like, if I start to think about it more, it's quite amazing for me, because maybe 10 or 15 years almost ago, I was spectating Rally Finland. And then Seb was already there fighting for the victory. But yeah, it's amazing. But once you jump in the car, then you forgot all these kind of things and then just focus on the driving.
Time is flying, and it doesn't seem it's been so long ago when I was also in this position. So, you know, I think it's great to see young guns coming and, of course, full of motivation. And I think, you know, having a shot with a team like ours is the best what can happen to any driver. So I wish him the best. Obviously, please don't be too fast, too quick. Let me enjoy a bit more.
It's not only youth that's been added. Finnish rally legend Juha Kankkunen joins as deputy team principal in support of Jari-Matti Latvala, who has the opportunity to compete in the European Historic Rally Championship in a Celica ST185. Rovanperä is clearly excited to work with the 4-time world champion.
I think it's going to be really cool. I would say from all the drivers, I like Juha the most. He's my favorite driver from all the old drivers, and yeah, he's also a good friend of mine. Always has been supporting me also personally quite a lot. So yeah, I'm always enjoying my time with Juha, and I cannot wait to see him in the race.
Takamoto Katsuta and Aaron Johnson are in for another season, with a Japanese driver determined to improve on a difficult 2024 campaign. M Sport Ford will again enter at least 2 Puma Rally 1 cars in every round. Gregoire Munster steps into the senior driver shoes of Adrien Fourmeau. His new teammate is Ireland's Josh McAlean, who continues his progression, making the step up from WRC2 to the World Rally Championship's highest level. Team boss Rich Milliner has a clear plan for the 2025 campaign.
For us, the target is to finish every rally and improve on every rally. Greg will be wanting to be a little bit more improved and a little bit higher up than he was last year. I'm sure he'd be trying to hunt down a podium at some point this season, which will be a huge challenge for him, but probably the right kind of target to aim for.
And for Josh, it's just improving event by event, especially over these first few events, which are the more specialist events of the year. And it's going to be finding his feet within the team and the car. And we'd like to see him push a little bit more and show what he can do as the year progresses. Nothing too early. Basically a carbon copy of what we wanted Greg to do last year.
Good testing yesterday on the dry and today on the snow, and these things can happen on the rally as well. Yeah, it's really nice that the team believed in us for 2025. I think it's also the ideal scenario because we had a full program previous year and we learned a lot, not only ourselves but also from the car and working together with the team. And so having that trust for 2025 is really good to start the year and trying to achieve some nice results.
Yeah, it's a big baptism to be on one of these cars on these roads with the conditions, but we had a good test, productive with different tyres, different combinations, obviously getting used to the new cockpit, everything around with the new team, how they work. It's very exciting to start the season, full season in WRC with M Sport Forward World Rally Team. It's an incredible experience so far, obviously testing for Rally Monte-Carlo. It's going to be super exciting lining up in Casino Square with world champions Sebastian Ogier, Terry Neville. These are all guys that they have inspired me to get to this place in this sport. So to be standing shoulder to shoulder with them in Casino Square at the start ramp of Rally Monte-Carlo is going to be super special for me.
In news announced just a week prior to Rally Monte-Carlo, Martin Sesks will drive a partial campaign for M Sport this season.
It's fantastic news for not only M Sport himself, but also WRC as a whole. You know, it was 3 events last year, it's going to be 6 events this year. What can we do next year? This year is another proving year for him and to show that he's capable and maybe help him get that step up to a full assault in 2026. Expectation is always high after what he achieved last year, so I think we've got to be realistic on not demanding or expecting him to be fighting for a podium on every rally, but it would be nice to see him up there alongside Greg. That's probably the better target because Josh will still be learning on certain events, but just again proving the car and the team is capable of getting good results, and very much looking forward to seeing how they all link up together to do that.
Well, there we go. All new lineups all round. It's going to be an exciting season ahead, particularly for Josh McAlane there.
I'm so excited for him. He must be pinching himself. I mean, just sitting up there earlier with how many World Championships sitting next to him, he must be pinching himself. But such a great opportunity. And, you know, well done M Sport. You know, they've always been supporting the young drivers. They've got a really young team this year.
And Martin Sess, we just caught at the end of that as well.
Coming in from Sweden onwards. So, you know, fair play to them. And it's so important that we get these young drivers coming through. So, yeah. Thank you, M Sport, for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And it brings a level of excitement. Of course, we're seeing Sami Payari as well enter the Toyota realm full time. Really exciting. It really does bring sort of the combination of the old and the new. And talking about the old and the new, we've got 4 world champions for the first time in quite a while, in a good few years now, that are going to be competing this season. Of course, Sebastian Ogier on that part season. Never count him out of anything, though. I think we learned that last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for this event, I mean, Sebastian's not going to win the World Championship this year. He's not doing enough events. Well, you say never say never. But he's my favourite here. You'd never underestimate Sebastian Ogier for winning Monte.
9 times, you know what you're doing out there, but you never quite know what Monte-Carlo can produce.
No, that's true enough, but if I had to bet on anybody, my money here would be on Ogier.
Yeah.
But that's not to say he's not going to win the championship. But who is? Because, you know, as I say, 4 world champions. We've got a couple of non-world champions. You know, Elvin's right in the mix there as well. But
well, I think that's the point, isn't it? So now Thierry has claimed the World Championship title. He'll be starting this season with #1 on his car. When you asked him that when he was doing Meet the Crews, the smile that came on his face, you know, this was really all that everything had been building to for him. However, Elvin Evans, he's still not achieved that and still is very capable of doing so.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, Elvin went really well in the Yaris before the hybrid. He was much more comfortable with that. The hybrid came in and it unstabilised his driving a little bit.
And the Hankook tyres.
He's been on Hankook before. He's won rallies on Hankook tyres in the past. So the batteries are gone. The car's a little bit lighter, a little bit more nimble. I think that'll suit him more. And Elvin is brilliant at adapting.
Yes.
So, and he's really good in terrible, you know, slippy conditions. He feels the grip somehow. So, yeah. don't count Elvin out. I mean, he's been second, third and fourth here. He just needs the win. He's never won Monte, but, you know, he's got 8 wins under his belt. He's been fourth in the championship. Second in the championship 4 times.
Yeah.
So, you know, this could be Elvin's year. Who knows?
You know, when you run those stats like that, second in the championship 4 times, he's got 8 wins under his belt. Like Thierry, it's been building. So all it takes is just the right motion to get behind you, and this could be Elvin Evans' year. Do you agree? Well, we've got 14 rounds to play out in front of your eyes, all starting in just a matter of hours now.
Yeah, and I can't wait. And, you know, like I say, Thierry's car won. He's comfortable. I've never seen him looking so relaxed. I know inside he might be thinking what's going to happen tonight.
Sometimes we don't see drivers taking the number one. Thierry was going to take that number one.
You know what? I think there's a weight off his shoulder. I've never seen Thierry looking that relaxed before, prior to a new season like this. And as you say, that could be it. The pressure's off. The bubble has burst. He is world champion. He's going to go out and give it everything. He's got nothing to prove anymore. You know, he's got that world championship under his belt. So, yeah, I mean, Thierry's going to be very, very, very strong this year. But then, right next to him in that garage, he's got Oitanak.
Listen, and Oitanak, as you'll see now that other drivers are collecting up the World Championship titles, Calibra, the pair are back in business. Oitanak's thinking, well, hang on a minute, I'm going to need another one of those as well. It is going to be exciting right from the start. And we have seen some of the biggest moments in our motorsport history happen here at Monte-Carlo.
Yeah, there will be drama. There's absolutely no question in that. Some of the drivers are coming back after the recce, and there's a stage on Saturday where they're going around a cliff. Well, it looks like a road that goes around a cliff in South America, I beg your pardon. And there was icicles hanging off the rocks.
Looked incredible,
there's a drop
didn't it?
off the side. Yeah, no, there's going to be drama. It's Rallye Monte-Carlo, no question. Somebody's going to have an issue. So
how soon it comes will be the question. Now, remember last year we saw those incredible fireworks, that scene that set the scene for a fantastic 2024, a scene that probably will be remembered throughout motorsport history. Monte-Carlo last year, I think we might see it being recreated tonight. As soon as darkness surrounds stage 3 tonight, it is going to be one to watch.
Yeah, I'm at the end of stage 3. I can't wait. I'm hoping for some fireworks there. But yeah, so they're not running that classic stage this year. But yeah, the rumour is that about 8.5k into stage 3, there's going to be a group of super fans with a load of fireworks and flares and whatever else going off there. But you say, those shots for me last year were the shots of the season. You know, you were seeing them going up through those hairpins, fireworks going off. And I actually asked the drivers, you know, what does that make you feel like when you're driving the car? Do you actually see the fireworks? And they're like, oh yeah, you see them, all right. And it gives them another lift again, you know. I mean, they've got to focus, they've got to drive the car, but you can't avoid them. But they were spectacular, weren't they? Yeah. Absolutely. Best shots of the season.
Just incredible. Well, that is all going to play out in front of your eyes tonight. Once again, to give you some context, if you have just tuned in with us, we are in Casino Square. This is the 93rd edition of the Monte-Carlo Rally. Once the cars go over that start ramp, it means their rally has started. They are heading out onto the stages tonight. Well, what do the drivers think about what's in store? Let's find out.
This will be the 93rd running of Rallye Monte-Carlo, always the curtain raiser to the WRC season. It presents a unique, unrelenting set of challenges to test even the best drivers in the world.
Every year I mention that Monte-Carlo never get easier, even after many starts, and I always have this massive respect starting this event, this little bit somehow fear, you know, inside you. You know you're going to face conditions you don't expect, and yeah, it's trying to, of course, managing the risk like often in rally, but probably even more with this winter condition.
I think you need to have a good feeling with the car and the setup. Especially now with the new tires, you need to really feel confident as soon as possible to really trust the car. In Monte, when you have those really difficult mixed conditions, you need to be comfortable in the car.
Making the right tyre calls at the right time, and of course staying out of trouble. We know how difficult it is and how easy it is to make even a small mistake that can completely ruin your weekend.
I think I want to win everybody. If I had to choose, I want to win everybody, especially Monte-Carlo. But we'll see which one it comes, if it comes. But we'll do our best to get our first victory, and every event is an opportunity to get it.
Monte-Carlo is always a challenging one. First to start the season with a tricky condition. For example, we had a good testing yesterday on the dry and today on the snow, and these things can happen on the rally as well. Surely when it's night and you have like -5 and the humid patches start to become ice. So yeah, always a tricky one. I would say the key for that event is to try and find a good compromise with the setup, to feel comfortable in the car in all kind of conditions, and so that's what we are aiming for this edition.
Well, there we go. That's just a taster of what's in store. But really importantly, let's scoot back to what Sébastien Ogier said, which was that he always has humility coming into this event. And the man knows exactly what he's doing in every aspect. But we do have some new stages out there and parts of new stages as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's local to Gap, but that doesn't help him on Saturday because those stages are new to everybody. So... yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be a bit of a disadvantage, but I think where he gains is he knows the weather patterns locally. Yes. Do you know what I mean? He grew up in those mountains, and he knows exactly what it feels like. He sees the clouds rolling in. He says, oh, yeah, this is going to be a wet night, a snowy night, or a frosty night, and that, I think, is the main advantage. And Thierry's arrived.
Thierry has arrived indeed. I could feel all the photographers pushing us. So I think at this point we better hand over to our commentators, which for tonight will be Bex Williams and Mike Chen, who will take you through this start round.
Il est avec nous, il est à la maison.
Welcome everybody.
Il est à la maison aujourd'hui.
Thierry Neuville there, just about to get interviewed, our brand new World Rally Champion for 2025.
C'est plutôt vous qui nous accueillez, mais pas de souci.
Alors, Thierry Neuville, on rappelle évidemment, on a un petit peu de temps, ça va. Allez, on a un tout petit peu de temps, il est 14h28, départ à E30 précisément. Thierry Neuville sur la Hyundai i20 WRC, cette voiture qui... D'ailleurs, Thierry qui est salué par le vice-président de l'Automobile Club chargé des sports, Monsieur Ferry, qui est à nos côtés. Quelques mots, dans quel état d'esprit on est, Thierry Neuville? Parce que ça va se jouer, encore une fois ici, ça va se jouer sur le rallye Monte-Carlo.
Le championnat, non, mais oui, ce rallye de Monte-Carlo est un rallye extrêmement compliqué. Et en étant le premier de la saison, ben... Voilà, c'est la fondation pour tout ce qui suit derrière, clairement. Donc il va falloir essayer de prendre un maximum de points, être à l'arrivée surtout. Et puis voilà, on espère prendre un peu de plaisir.
Oui. Vous êtes pilote belge, mais vous êtes résident monégasque. C'est dire que vous êtes quasiment à la maison. Est-ce que ça veut dire que quand on prépare un WRC, quand on est champion du monde, qu'on prépare un WRC, on est un petit peu plus tranquille ou on est un peu plus serein?
Non, pas du tout, pas du tout. Même après plus de 10 ans ici à Monaco, voilà, on est toujours aussi nerveux avant ce début de saison et ce rallye de Monte-Carlo qui nous réserve toujours plein de surprises, on le sait. Hein. Et puis des choix plus compliqués, donc voilà. On est bien préparé, mais il y a certaines inconnues qu'il va falloir découvrir tout au long du week-end et faire en sorte que ce soit un bon week-end.
Allez, on se retrouve à l'arrivée. Il est l'heure. Thierry Neuville, applaudissements pour le champion du monde.
He's a Belgian driver, but he's a resident of Monaco. You know, it's just up the hill, really, for him now to go over the amazing and classic ceremonial start that we have. It really is the absolute curtain raiser to the championship. And it couldn't start anywhere else but in this square right now. But, you know, the glamour and the lights and the people and the beautiful Café de Paris aside, they're heading up into the mountains after this. You know, they're heading to a tyre fitting zone in Dieu-les-Bains and then straight into the opening stage. And we do not know at this point in time, which is what I love partially as well, we don't know what the weather conditions are doing right now. Could be doing anything up in those mountains.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's been waiting around for a long time now and they just want to get going. And I have to say, for Thierry Neuville, you know, nice to see the #1 on the car finally after so many years of finishing second. He's got a big job on his hands though this year to retain that, hasn't he? Oyt Tanak is as hungry as ever. We know how good the Toyotas are. We know how good Sébastien Ogier, Kalle Pera, and this man Elfyn Evans as well. Emir just said it. The hybrid's gone. The car's a bit lighter. I do think that will suit Elfyn's driving style. I think we're set for an incredibly exciting championship this year.
Yeah, I think the fact that the cars are a bit lighter, the drivers are going to love that. The cars are going to be a little bit more playful in that sense as well. Let's hear from Elfyn Evans then.
à la seconde place du championnat du monde, Elfyn Evans. What did you expect today, this year, for this Rally Monte-Carlo?
Yeah, I think conditions look a bit more varied than we've had maybe over the last couple of years. So definitely back to the challenging times, let's say, with a bit more potential for ice and some wintry conditions possibly. So like always, this event is a challenge.
C'est un très très beau challenge, effectivement, les routes du Rallye Monte-Carlo qui sont évidemment piégeuses, comme on le sait. Le pilote gallois, le fils du pilote, Gwyndaf Evans, né à Cardiff, qui a commencé la course en 2007. We wish you a pleasant Rallye Monte-Carlo this year.
Thank you very much.
And have a nice day, and see you on Sunday here on the Monte-Carlo Casino. Have a nice day. Thank you, Elfyn Evans.
A little bit of a nod there to Father Gwyndaf Evans, who was, of course, back on the Route Note Crew duties for him here in Monty.
Yeah, Gwyndaf Van Dan Barrett as well in the car. A wealth of experience there, isn't it? And the good thing as well, Bex, is Dan knows exactly what Elfyn needs. Obviously, Dan Barrett was Elfyn's co-driver for a long time, so he'll be able to look at the details and look at Elfyn's notes and be able to make the changes just as Elfyn would want them. And it's those little things that make all the difference. I'm really excited to see what Elfyn can do this year. I'm not biased, but I am biased. I really want Elfyn to have a great year. I think it's, it would be nice to see him slap a #1 on the car as well.
I'm being completely selfish here. I want to see I want to see everyone have a good year. I want a title fight to go right down to the final round, just like it did in Japan last year. But by the time we get to a brand new event in Saudi Arabia, I want a four-way battle for this title, please. That's what I'm throwing out there into the ether right now. I'm trying to manifest it. That's what all the cool kids do these days.
I think under the new point structure as well, last year was all about building a lead and then being consistent and protecting that lead. That's what Thierry Neuville did really well. It's different this year now. And, with everything moving to Sunday and rally results now mean something again, it's very, very important that obviously the speed is there, the consistency is there, and I think it will be a much, much tighter fight in the championship.
Yeah, we'll talk about the points, the new point structure as we go through the weekend, but the onus is far more now on the rally victories. Saturday point scoring has been abandoned, but the Super Sunday point scoring remains. And you all remember how good Sundays were last year. That continues on. But more emphasis on that all-important rally win, second and third position. Let's hear from Ott Tanak.
How are you today? All good. Good. How will be this year on the Rally Monte-Carlo?
Monte is kind of rally that nobody knows, that's for sure. It will always surprise and it will always be demanding. So it's a rally you just need to start and then go with the flow. So.
Oui, c'est le premier rallye, c'est le rallye du démarrage, c'est le rallye qu'on a envie, évidemment. C'est ce qui va marquer la température de la saison, c'est ce qui va marquer véritablement, qui va donner le rythme à cette saison. You will be there on Sunday here in Monaco.
That's the target, that's for sure. So yeah, to finish first you need to finish. So we will go for it.
Oui, ils vont tout faire évidemment pour être présents. Have a nice rally. Have a nice rally. Ott Tanak, mesdames et messieurs, applaudissements pour Ott Tanak.
What position will he be in come the end of the rally on Sunday? There's a long way to go until that point. We kickstart this evening, so if you are just joining the coverage, cancel all plans for Thursday evening. We've got 3 stages for you coming up, the first of which beginning at 6 o'clock local time here.
I was discussing this at lunch, Bex. it's Rally Monte-Carlo is such a unique event, isn't it? And Sweden as well, full winter event coming up next. And as Ott just said, to finish first you've got to finish. And on this rally, you've got so many difficult decisions to make, tyre choice being the key one. If you're on the right tyre for over 50% of the rally, then that's a good result at Monte-Carlo because the conditions are so changeable, often in one stage, and so often it just comes down to being patient. You'll hear the drivers, I'm sure, getting to the end of the stage when they're talking to Molly or Emir or Julian, they'll be saying, I just felt like we were just hemorrhaging time in there. But it's the same for everybody, and it's just about being patient at Rally Monte-Carlo. People will make mistakes. The key thing is don't be one of those people that throws it off. Be patient, the results will come.
Absolutely.
Oitanak then has made his way over the ceremonial start in Casino Square, heading up now into the mountains, into the hills, into the darkness, and what awaits them up there. The recce certainly was a mixture of snow, ice, slush and dry tarmac, very mixed out on the stages, very varied, which is why all the drivers are saying, you know, this may be a tougher challenge than previous years gone by when we've seen completely bone-dry stages. It's different this year. Could be anything around any corner to catch them out. It is the Monty Master then, it is Sébastien Ogier.
Je vous ai observé depuis tout à l'heure, vous étiez au contact du public, au contact de vos fans, des aficionados du rallye Monte-Carlo. C'est un rallye incontournable et vous avez choisi de commencer la saison par ce rallye. Vous n'allez pas tous les parcourir, mais en tout cas celui-là, vous ne vouliez pas le rater.
Oui, le Monte-Carlo, c'est clairement un incontournable pour moi. Et passer un peu de temps avec ce public qui me donne autant chaque année ici, c'est sûr que c'est important aussi. Maintenant, on est content d'être dans la voiture et de lancer enfin la course. C'est vrai qu'on a beaucoup de temps de cogiter avant le départ et là, que les choses sérieuses commencent et qu'on puisse se lancer, c'est aussi un bon moment.
On a écouté, on vous a entendu tout à l'heure, vous étiez en interview notamment avec le WRC, on parlait avec la FIA, on parlait de difficultés. Ce rallye ne va pas être simple, ce rallye n'a pas les meilleures conditions, les conditions idéales.
Il n'est jamais simple de toute façon. Monte-Carlo, c'est ça qui fait son charme aussi. C'est le fait que ces conditions hivernales font que d'une année sur l'autre, même si on parcourt la même spéciale, elle n'est jamais dans les mêmes conditions. Il faut s'adapter constamment et c'est aussi voilà ce qu'on aime, la beauté de cette course, essayer de passer au travers tous ces pièges. Ils vont être nombreux ce week-end effectivement et on va tout faire pour les éviter.
Vous avez choisi, vous avez programmé votre saison. Comment est-ce qu'on fait pour programmer une saison? On commence, on l'a bien compris, par le rallye Monte-Carlo, mais après, comment on choisit les courses?
C'est une discussion avec l'équipe, un petit peu aussi avec le calendrier, regarder les dates, parce que c'est vrai que moi, ce qui a décidé ce choix, c'est de passer un peu plus de temps avec mon fils et ma famille. Donc les vacances scolaires, par exemple, c'est quelque chose que je regarde beaucoup. Oui, les rallyes que j'apprécie, les rallyes où il y a du soleil, les rallyes où on se fait plaisir. Et donc, bon, il y en a plein dans le championnat, donc comment dire, le choix est là.
Allez, je vous laisse vous élancer. Continuez à nous faire rêver.
Always the same with Sébastien Ogier. You know, whether he's asked in English and in French, he has this incredible humility about him. You know, we always talk about, and Emma mentioned it at Meet the Crews earlier, you know, it could be your 10th Rally Monte-Carlo victory, which would be quite incredible. 9 is incredible enough, let's be fair. But he always comes at it with a real humble approach because he's got such fantastic competitors around him. He knows that. When he gets the helmet on, it's a different take, but he understands the whole process behind it. And, you know, it's not the fastest driver out there who wins Rally Monte-Carlo.
No.
There are so many factors here, Chenny. We talked about it yesterday at Shakedown with trying as much as you possibly can just to get the right tyre choice.
Yeah, I mean, tyre choice is critical here, isn't it? I mean, Sébastien Ogier's got so much experience and he knows that you have to treat every single rally with respect. You can't second guess the result. Certainly not now. The competition is so stiff, isn't it? And but Rally Monte-Carlo is one of those rallies that you really have to, as you said, treat it with humility. You have to treat the rally with respect. Let it come to you. And there are so many challenges. We'll talk about it throughout the commentary this weekend as we look at Adrien Fourmeau coming up onto the start ramp with his new Hyundai, but we'll talk about it. The challenges, the tyres being one of the critical key changes this year.
Everyone get used to the new look Adrien Fourmeau, brand new overalls, brand new team, brand new car. Hopefully the same Adrien though.
L'année dernière, 5e position, 5e temps du rallye Monte-Carlo. Adrien, on est là pour... Ah, tiens, quel est l'objectif que vous vous fixez?
Toujours faire mieux que l'année précédente. Sur la victoire, mais en tout cas, voilà, moi, c'est un beau challenge aussi de l'équipe, de la voiture. Nouveau pneumatique aussi, ça fait beaucoup de nouveautés. Mais voilà, on sait qu'on départ du Rallye Monte-Carlo tout arrive.
Le tout premier rallye, on s'en souvient, c'était en 2019. C'était en 2019 sur une Ford Fiesta R5. Là, on n'est pas du tout sur le même type de voiture. C'est une nouvelle voiture, mais c'est une voiture dans laquelle vous avez totale confiance. On a enlevé la partie hybride cette année. Ça veut dire des voitures différentes.
Les voitures sont plus légères, on a tiré quelques 80 kg, après on a plus cette puissance extra qu'on avait. Pareil, on a ici en thermique et puis en électrique, mais en tout cas, voilà, c'est toujours
bien, je vous souhaite un très bon rallye Monte-Carlo. Comment on gère justement ce petit manque de puissance qu'on avait sous le coude avec l'hybride?
C'est sûr que parfois la puissance peut nous sauver. Là, on n'a pas forcément comme avant. En tout cas, on essaie d'optimiser un peu plus les virages parce qu'on n'aura pas la puissance derrière qu'on va utiliser avec l'hybride. Donc le pilotage est un peu différent.
Adrien Fourmeau et Alexandre Coria, il est temps de partir. On vous souhaite un très
Adrien
bon
Fourmeau, what a challenge this year. Yes, he's in a team alongside two world champions with Oitanak and now, of course, Thierry Neuville. He'll be wanting to prove himself. Chenny got his podiums in WRC, his first ever podium in WRC Sweden last year. He'll be looking at that top step. He will be trying to find a rally where that is possible this year.
Yeah, I think Adrian will. Yeah, there's no question, and we Cyril Abiteboul discussed it earlier, mentioned it earlier on. When you're in a team with two world champions, the pressure is on a little bit. But Adrian will want to make a mark fairly early on. And the key thing really here, Bex, is to get through Rally Monte-Carlo without making any silly mistakes, without damaging the car. You don't want to get stuck in a rut though. At the same time, you know, he won't want Thierry Neuville and Oitanak, who've got more experience in that car and more experience overall, just tearing off into the distance, and you get left behind. So Adrian will want to make his mark fairly early on. I think he's got the pace to do it. I think he's got the mental capacity to do it. Whether or not, though, you know, he pulls the trigger on that strategy here in Monte Carlo remains to be seen. We know how quick he is in Sweden, though.
Oh, my goodness, we certainly do. Great scenes here then as the drivers prepare for 3 stages this evening and the real kickstart of Rally Monte-Carlo 2025. It is a brand new season. We do have regulation changes. There are no hybrid units within these Rally 1 cars anymore. We've got a brand new tyre supplier, official tyre supplier to the WRC in Hankook. And we have a change to the point structure as well. There's lots to talk about this whole weekend, but let's have a chat with Taka Katsuta, who now is also a Monaco resident.
Yeah, Taka, local, probably waving to his next door neighbour there. Don't read too much into these tyres as well. We can see that Taka's got the ISEP tyre on. That's the winter tyre. There is a tyre fitting zone coming before the next stage. So if you are looking at those tyres going, Taka's running winters, he might not be by the time we get into the first stage.
This rally and this season.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be really exciting every year in this Monte-Carlo. So trying to get through without any programs and automatically without really good. But I try to do it for my team and at the same time making comeback. That's really important for the strategy.
We wish you a good Rally Monte-Carlo, and we will see you here on Monaco this Sunday. Have a nice day.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all hoping the same, but as you say, 4 days competition, always very, very difficult.
There's one thing I really want to see happen this year, Bex. It's for Takamoto Katsuta and Aaron Johnson to take their first WRC victory.
Yeah, me too.
Sweden last year keeps me awake at night. It was heartbreaking, and it was there. The pace is there. They are ready for a win now. And I know as well, once you take that win, you just take that natural next step up the rung of the ladder. The confidence comes. We've seen it so many times in the past, haven't we? When a driver takes their first victory, then a flurry of them come along. Your next aim is, oh, I can do this. And it's like a mental switch just flicks in your head. Taka's ready for that. I'd love to see him take a win at some point this year. He deserves it.
I'm the same. I'm predicting he is going to get a win this season. I'm also predicting Fourmeau is going to get a win this season. Genuinely would love to see both of those things happening.
Yeah,
if you want to share your predictions with us, of course, let us know. Use the hashtag WRC Live across social media so we can see what you're chatting about. But those two things, to me, is something I can certainly see happening. As you said, Taka was so close on so many occasions, Sweden being, you know, the true heartbreak last year. But I have a feeling it's going to happen this time around. 2025 right now holds everything is in its hand. A whole anticipation, expectation of the season. Our double world champion, Kalle Rovanperä, is now with us, back for a full-time season this year. Last year it was partial, but we get the joy of seeing him on every event in 25.
Il avait 17 ans déjà au volant au départ du rallye du Pays de Galles en WRC Start rally. You were very, very young.
Yeah, I started rally driving when I was 8 years old.
Le fils de Harry Rowentera, ancien pilote Peugeot, qui a commencé à rouler déjà à l'âge de 8 ans précisément, et qui était à nos côtés et qui revient. It's your return on the Rallye Monte-Carlo.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed out last year, but yeah, this year we're back full time and it's nice to start here in Monaco.
Voilà, il a effectivement sauté une année, mais il est heureux d'être de retour. What do you expect for this rally?
When you get on, we always expect different condition, a lot of change for weather, and that's the most difficult thing here, I would say.
Beaucoup de chance, il y a ça, beaucoup de chance, d'avoir beaucoup de chance pour le temps. Ça va être, it will be, I think it will be a difficult rally. That's the Rallye Monte-Carlo.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be especially difficult this year, but that's always like this.
Have a nice rally, and see you on Sunday here on the Monte-Carlo casino back. Okay?
Yes, that's
nice rally. Karim Rowentera, applaudissements avec le
They all want to be back here on Sunday, of course they do.
Le directeur général adjoint de la société.
There's a lot of space in the top of Jonas Haltinen's cap there.
Monaco, qui va
Woolly hats on, though. It's going to be cold up in those mountains tonight. We're expecting temperatures to drop later on.
That was a hell of an observation, Betsy. Already, look, we're only 20 minutes into the start ramp and already Bex Williams is on it, people. You're right, there is a lot
of space.
Free air in that hat, isn't there? Brilliant to see Kalle Rovanperä back, though, isn't it? And you'd have
it is.
I mean, Bex, what he did in shakedown yesterday on, you know, he wasn't running the winter tyre, he was running the super soft, as I understand it, the super soft Z215 tyre, and he started 7th, went into shakedown 7th. The road was incredibly dirty, went second quickest on the first run through, just 7/10 slower than Tanak. I mean, like, he's so good at feeling grip, at knowing where the grip is and being able to lean on the car. And you have to say, Kalle Rovanperä certainly brilliant to have him back for a full onslaught, and yeah, maybe championship favourite. I think it'll be interesting to see, certainly, how it is this weekend.
And I think we have to wait until we're a good few rallies in to weigh that up, who's looking good. Gregoire Munster, what a big year for Gregoire leading the M Sport team. It's a young team this year, but full of expectation for the future.
How's your mind today? On l'a dit tout à l'heure, tout va se jouer, on disait tout à l'heure, écoutez, tout va se jouer sur le choix des pneus, tout va se jouer sur ce choix stratégique. Le championnat du monde, ça veut dire que on est sur la rail pour gagner la place.
Oui, tout à fait. On a eu une première saison l'année passée, on a appris beaucoup de choses et évidemment on a envie de faire mieux cette année. On connaît bien l'équipe, on connaît bien l'auto, donc voilà, on a faim.
Eh bien, vous avez faim, on va vous offrir de quoi manger, de quoi vous régaler sur ce rallye Monte-Carlo, cette édition 2025. Prenez beaucoup de plaisir, offrez-nous beaucoup de plaisir à nous qui allons être devant nos écrans, sur le bord des routes, à vous encourager.
Ouais, bah c'est prévu. Merci beaucoup de suivre et on va essayer de se régaler dans les conditions compliquées.
Applaudissements pour Gregoire Munster et Luis Luca. L'équipage M Sport Ford de WRT sur Ford de Puma Rallye 1.
It's going to be tough for him this year because it's still continuing to be, that learning curve. But he's up against, in the other teams, drivers who have such a wealth of experience. Chelly, to make inroads into what they can produce is going to be quite difficult.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Malcolm Wilson's learned over the years, and Rich Milner as well, is how to get the best out of the drivers. We saw that with Adrian Fourmeau, particularly last year. And Gregoire, for me, I think the key thing is he needs to improve on what he achieved last year. He shouldn't go into this year going, oh, now I'm... in inverted commas, leading the team. That shouldn't be an extra pressure on him. And he shouldn't be going into this year going, I want to try and take on the likes of Thierry Neuville and Loic Tanak. He should be looking to improve on what he achieved last year. More top 5 results. A podium, one podium this year would be absolutely phenomenal for Gregoire, wouldn't it? But I think the key thing for Gregoire is that he's improving on what he achieved throughout 2024, and let's continue to see the pace. And we saw incredible flashes of pace every now and again, but it wasn't consistent, was it, Bex, last year? So let's see what Gregoire can do this year. I think that's really his job.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. Sami Pairi, Marco Salminen now then. A big step up as well for Sami this year. Obviously, we saw him in a Rally 1 car with Toyota last year. He got his fastest time on the board as well, which was, he was delighted about. Now, with a full season, again, it's a big learning curve ahead, but he was, like Cesc was, invigorating for the fans out there. To see the youth coming through.
First Rallye Monte-Carlo in 2022, et donc là, dans quel état d'esprit vous êtes? What is your mind today?
The feeling is really nice. Of course, first time with a Rally 1 car in Monte-Carlo, I think it's always very special. It's anyway very special rally, but to go there with the Rally 1, I think it's even nicer. But of course, it's really the best thing to have is to start the season with the proper car and proper team. So I'm happy.
It's a new car for you today, this year. Last year you were on a WRC 2, and today sur le WRC 1. What is the principal differences between the old car and your new car?
Simply the car is faster, it has more power, and like aerodynamics more, and small things here and there, which makes it simply faster. So it's even more demanding to push this car for the limits than the smaller cars. But the feeling is still nice to drive it, but of course it will take some small time to get used to it.
Et cette voiture qui est complètement différente, le feeling est complètement différent. We will see you here in Monaco on Sunday. Have a nice rally.
Yeah, thank you so much. I try to enjoy it. Thank you.
Sami Pairi et Marco
I think that is going to be the main focus, isn't it? Try to enjoy. Was it Elvin Evans yesterday said, you try to enjoy some moments in the madness of Monty, and that's one of the great lines for this event. You do have to try and enjoy it. It is crazy out there, and it's a really tough challenge to get the season underway, but this is what we as broadcasters and fans also love to see.
Yes, it's such a unique rally, isn't it, Bex? And just say Monte-Carlo is almost like its own event, its own little championship, if you like, because so often it's decided not on pure pace alone, it's decided on strategy, on teams, on tyres. I do think Sami Pairi, now listen, there's no question it's a learning year for him, but his pace, we saw in WRC 2, he's naturally incredibly quick. He's got a very, very bright future ahead of him. I think we could see Sami Pairi up on the podium this year.
And I wouldn't rule it out.
Absolutely not. And the key thing as well, and Gregoire hasn't really got this, certainly the likes of Josh McElwain, who we'll see momentarily, hasn't got it. Sami Pairi has got Kalle Rovanperä, Sebastian Ogier, Elvin Evans and Takamoto Katsuta in the team, as well as some of the best engineers in the world. Toyota, he's got everything around him that he needs to get a strong result. And I think it will happen this year for him.
Yeah, he can soak up that wealth of knowledge from everyone in the team.
Sur Ford Puma Rallye 1, ce sera d'ailleurs la dernière Rallye 1 à prendre le départ.
Plenty more drivers then to head over the ramp as we await the opening 3 stages of Rally Monte-Carlo. Let's welcome the newbie, shall we, on the block? Josh McElwain and Owen Tracy will kickstart Rally Monte-Carlo in a Rally 1 car, and it's the first time in a Rally 1 car as well. Talk about baptism of fire, but more importantly, what a fantastic opportunity for this pair in the 2025 season.
Sur Ford Puma Rallye 1, le M Sport Ford World Rally Team, le fils du pilote Alan Tracy, qui a commencé en copilote en 2015, You Start, in the co-pilot seat.
Yes, it's our first, obviously, Rally 1 debut with Owen in the co-driver seat as well. So, yes, probably one of the most exciting days of my life to be standing here on our debut at Rally 1 in Monte-Carlo. So, hopefully, a good weekend ahead.
C'était après la Suède, le Portugal, la Sardaigne, la Finlande, la Belgique et la Catalogne. Your first Rally Monte-Carlo was 2 years before.
Yes, 2 years before. It was quite, let's say, straightforward with the weather, so we can expect a lot different this weekend.
What do you expect, so this rally this year for your return on the Rally Monte-Carlo?
Yeah, it's obviously in a big car. It's Rally 1 now, so a lot of learning, a lot of things to get used to, but yeah, we want to enjoy it and have fun.
Merci, thank you very much. Have a nice rally.
Great words, I love that. It's probably the most exciting day of my life. Stood here, Casino Square, in a Rally 1 car with M Sport Ford, just about to take part in Rally Monte-Carlo. Oh, it's good, I've given myself goosebumps just thinking about what he's feeling right now.
There'll be all sorts of emotions going through Josh and Owen's head at the moment, and I think, you know, we have to give them time. There's no question. This is a massive, massive opportunity for them to learn. They are not going to be running up at the front straight away from the word go. And you almost want to say to them, don't even look at the times. Don't even look, because when you look at the times, when you get sucked into the rally, you start pushing, and he hasn't got the experience that everyone else has got. So as I said yesterday in Shakedown, for me, Josh, the only person he's rallying against for the first 3 or 4 events is himself. And then after that, he needs to be looking at what he's doing relative to Gregoire Munster, and you know, there's no question that there is the pace there, but at this level of the Sportbex, when the competition is so tight and the times, the margins are so fine, you need the experience, and that's something that Josh has got to build throughout this year, and he will do. He's smart, he's bright, he's humble, and he will do that.
And now, you know, from the beautiful glamour of Casino Square, they go into a little bit of Monaco traffic as they make their way up to the mountains. Oliver Solberg, Elliot Edmonds. Now it is a change of machinery for them this year. They are in the Toyota GR Yaris Rally 2 car. This is the car that Sami Pajari piloted last year.
Oliver Solberg, les Suédois et Elliot Edmondson à nos côtés, le Prince Sport Team sur Toyota GR Racing RC2, le fils de Peter Solberg, de Perdilla Wilfridsson qui est à nos côtés. You've got the sport, the autosport in your blood.
Yeah, you know, we are a motorsport family from my mom's side, my dad's side, and you know, we are combined the world's biggest motorsport family. So yeah, I guess I had no choice when I started with motorsport. Yeah.
But it's not so heavy, this dynasty.
For sure, there's pressure, but I like it. You know, it's what I love. It's the sport I love, and I know nothing else, so it's very simple.
No, last year you were on the Rally Monte-Carlo. What are you expecting today, this year?
No, we had a good fight last year, fighting for the podium, and yeah, this year is to try to fight for the win, of course. But we'll see. It's a brand new car, brand new journey with Toyota. So I just tonight maybe try to get into the car a little bit, see how it is in the conditions, and then flat out for the rest.
It's time to go. So, have a nice rally. La dynastie avec Oliver Solberg. La dynastie Solberg qui prend le départ ici depuis la place du casino à bord de... Vous avez vu que la tenue est totalement assortie.
Oliver Solberg then making his way off. Now WRC2, as ever, Jenny, you know, we talk about this on every single event. There's always such a stellar lineup in WRC2. He's not scoring points for the WRC2 Championship here in Monte, Oliver, but from the array that are, we are going to find ourselves having another thrilling battle like we did last year, and it went right down to the wire last year on the final stage of the event at the Col de Turini. That's where the WRC2 class got decided.
L'équipage
Let's switch our attention now though to Nikolai Gryazin.
Nikolai Gryazin et Konstantin Alexandrov. 56 départs en WRC, a commencé la compétition au Rallye de Suède en 2019. 10e du Rallye Monte-Carlo l'année dernière. 3e du RC2. What is your mind about this rally today, this year?
quite excited because the weather conditions has changed a lot during the last 2 days. So I think it will be interesting for everyone, but everyone in the same conditions. And I'm quite excited. Just really want to start as soon as possible. So long race ahead. Need to keep cool and focus on driving.
Voilà, effectivement. So it's time to go. So see you on Sunday here sur la place du Casino. On vous revoit évidemment dimanche. Nikolai Griazin et Konstantin Alexandrov qui s'élancent. Son premier rallye Monte-Carlo était en 2020 et c'est Laurence Ferrari, Madame la conseillère du gouvernement, qui représente évidemment le conseil du gouvernement et qui représente également l'intérieur à nos côtés.
Nikolai Griazin then just about to head off.
Merci Madame Ferrari.
No, just looking down the order here, Chenny, and looking at who is scoring points as we go, because again, Nikolai has opted not to score points for the championship here. But Johan Rossell has... we've got Eric Camely, who's returning, Leo Rossell, who is the younger brother of Johan Rossell in the same team, Charles Munster, who is, of course, the brother of Gregoire Munster. There's some great names in the mix. You know, Gus Greensmith is there, but again, not registered for points this weekend. Johan Rossell was the man who did score that victory last year.
Yeah,
he's won in WRC3 here as well. You know, he's got a good record at Monte-Carlo.
For sure, it's a good opportunity for Johan, knowing that the other top drivers are not scoring points. He needs to make this weekend count, and really he should be leaving with maximum championship points for his campaign.
Qui va pousser aussi, non?
Ouais, c'est le plan, je crois. Non, voilà, moi c'est sûr que j'ai de l'expérience maintenant en Monte-Carlo, mais c'est toujours difficile de savoir où on va mettre les roues et qu'est-ce qui nous attend. Donc essayons d'être bien concentrés, de ne pas faire d'erreur ce soir et on verra après si on doit ajuster la course et être en bonne position pour revenir te voir dimanche.
Je l'espère bien. J'espère bien te croiser dimanche ici avec un sourire comme celui que vous arborez tous les deux. Johan Rossell, Arnaud Dunant, bon rallye, bon rallye. Et vous avez en plus, vous avez la responsabilité de réussir votre rallye puisque c'est Jonas Siebel, le CEWRC, qui va vous donner le départ. Et donc vous avez vu d'ailleurs Jonas Siebel qui a fait signe à Johan Rossell le pied de sport, donc avec la Citroën C3 RC2 qui s'élance.
Big expectation, of course, for Johan Rossell. He was in the mix of the WRC2 title fight as well last year. You know, I loved it that we had, you know, the opportunity for Oliver Solberg to win the title. Then Oliver couldn't do any more rallies because he'd already done the 7 completed point-scoring events. It was Rossell's turn to see if he could try and win it. He couldn't, and then it went into Sami Payery's hands. It was quite an incredible end to the season.
Bon,
really in that
category.
Yeah, it was. WRC2 last year was phenomenal, wasn't it? And you know, Gus, this band here, he had a bit of a shocker, didn't he? I fully expect Gus to be right back on it and in the fight for the championship. I think WRC2 is going to be every single bit as exciting this year as it was last year.
Anderson à nos côtés. 90 départs en WRC cette année sur Skoda Fabia RS Rallye 2. Il a d'abord commencé le sport par le foot. You started sport with football.
Yep, kicked a ball and now drive a car.
And why do you drive car today, this year?
I wanted to make it a more expensive hobby for my dad, so no, I'm joking. No, I watched him racing when I was growing up and I got into it and then quite quickly decided this is what I wanted to do.
Alors c'est votre retour. Il faut y aller. You should start. You should go. Have a nice rally. Have a nice rally.
It's a nice little fascinating fact about Gus. That, yeah, he could have been a goalkeeper in football. And, you know, he's got the height and the arm span for it.
Yeah, he's a massive Manchester United fan. And, yeah, he's big into football. But as he said, he grew up watching his dad, Charles, who did a bit of Fun Cup racing and a few other bits and bobs. And Gus did a bit in karting and circuit racing and then decided that actually he preferred going sideways. And one thing that Gus does do very well, as we've seen in the past, is throw a car around and make it go sideways. So, yeah, look, I just really hope that the year goes better for him this year than it did last year, because that wasn't indicative of his pace. 2024 was just a a real bogey year, wasn't it? So
it was tough.
It
certainly was.
Better.
I'm sure he can turn it around. Let's welcome now then Roberto Dapra. First season in WRC 2 last year. Hoping to build on that now in this season.
Et l'année dernière, 33e du classement général du Rallye Monte-Carlo et 19e du classement RC2 sur cette épreuve du Rallye Monte-Carlo ici à Monaco. Ils vont partir, Roberto Dapra, dans quelques instants, dans 10 secondes. On vous retrouve ce week-end ici à Monaco. You will be for the return here on Sunday.
Yes, I hope. Condition will be really tricky. There will be a lot of mud, and I think that it will be important to make a good choice with the tires. So yeah, of course we will enjoy a lot, and we will try to do our best.
Allez, on vous souhaite évidemment un très bon rallye. You should start now. You should go. Et le rallye Roberto Dapra et Luca Guglielmatti qui vont partir dans quelques instants.
We see a really great array of them now.
Un départ qui avait donné par
It's got a bubble on the top here, really.
Only in certain conditions.
Maxime. Lieutenant-colonel
moving swiftly on from that statement. But I love the winter wear that we see in Monaco and Sweden. We head to hotter climbs with the other rallies.
It's going to be good to see what Roberto Dapra can do this year.
Yeah, it is actually.
Last year he went from in different machinery, but he was getting quicker and quicker, wasn't he? He was becoming more of a name, and now full onslaught. It'll be interesting. Still learning, though. Still learning. This will be a tough weekend for him. There's no question about that.
It's a tough weekend, no matter how much experience you've got, isn't it? Monty is the one that can really bite you, whether you've won it or not. Eric Camely now, it's great to welcome him back to the championship. In a couple of years since we've seen him in action.
Et Thibaut Delahaye, les Français sur Hyundai i20, Rallye 2, cette superbe auto. Bon, c'est le retour sur le Rallye Monte-Carlo après une petite année d'absence.
C'est le retour après effectivement 2 ans d'absence, 2 Monte-Carlo loupés, c'est le 8e donc.
Oui, le 2022, vous étiez au départ quand même.
Et on était au départ.
Mais il y a eu un abandon mécanique.
Il y a eu un abandon, pas vraiment mécanique, on va dire. Mais bon, il y avait de la perfo, on était en tête. Mais en tout cas, voilà, le Monte-Carlo, c'est une longue histoire. Je pense qu'on l'a fait 7 fois. Et on s'est retrouvé en tête, on l'a gagné. Il y a eu aussi des déceptions, parce qu'en 7 fois, on l'a gagné qu'une fois. Donc voilà, ça va être à nouveau aujourd'hui. Je pense qu'on s'est battu depuis 2 ans pour revenir en championnat du monde. C'est une grande satisfaction. On est vraiment très heureux et excités. La nuit va s'annoncer compliquée, comme toujours, évidemment. Et en tout cas, voilà, on va donner le meilleur de nous-mêmes avec cette auto qu'on a développée l'année dernière et qui nous plaît vraiment. Donc voilà, on verra.
Allez, le niçois Eric Camely qui part, qui nous quitte maintenant. Je crois que c'est l'heure. Je crois qu'on se retrouve dimanche.
Pas de souci, à dimanche, oui.
Allez, avec le sourire. Un peu fatigué probablement dimanche, mais on se retrouve quand même ici. Mais ce sera de la bonne fatigue. Eric Camely et Thibaut Delahaye.
Eric Camely, a driver who's had a really interesting career because he's been right at the top echelon of the sport, and he's done a lot and has a good amount of experience. Okay, he's from Nice. He's not quite got the absolute local knowledge, but local knowledge enough.
Yeah, well, first of all, ever such a nice guy. I mean, he's a really nice guy, and you know, unfortunately, motorsport is an incredibly expensive undertaking, isn't it? And,
it is.
And so often it comes down to budget. And as you said, Eric's been right at the top with M Sport, and then he's been away and so on and so forth. So yeah, great to have him here. I expect him to go quite well in that Hyundai on these roads as well.
So now we switch to Leo Rossel, younger brother of Johan Rossel.
Pas du tout. Ça va être ma première expérience en WRC, la première ici au Monte, donc voilà, il va falloir essayer d'apprendre tout ça de manière crescendo. On va dire qu'il faut vraiment prendre de l'expérience pour les années futures. En tout cas, on est super content d'être ici. Tout cela grâce à la fédération et Citroën, donc on va en profiter au maximum.
Premier WRC, premier Rallye Monte-Carlo pour 2025, le champion de France 2024 à Saint-Maxime, c'est à 2 pas d'ici. C'est là que tout a basculé et qui est là et qui a un sourire radieux. Regardez ça, c'est merveilleux. Bon rallye.
Merci beaucoup, on espère se voir dimanche en ayant fait un joli rallye.
Yeah, we all hope that you're here on Sunday as well, of course. A long way to go, of course, until that point, though. And it does all kickstart very shortly for these drivers. They're leaving Casino Square now. They're heading to a tyre fitting zone at Digne-les-Bains before heading into the opening stages of the event. Let's take a look at the schedule for this evening then. 3 stages kicking off. The first one at 6 o'clock in the evening, rapidly followed by the next stage. We'll be continuing our coverage on from the opening stage as well. And the final stage of the loop starting just after 9 o'clock in the evening. And of course, we'll be on air for all the Media Zone interviews at the end of it also. Let's take a look across the weekend then at the all-important times that we will be on air. Obviously tonight we're kicking off at 6 o'clock. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can see in front of you the earliest start coming on Sunday morning. Bear a thought for the Route Note crews who are up bright and early in the morning ahead of the stages going live to check those stages. So as you can see, we'll be on air for a huge part of Rally Monte-Carlo, all of it. But we kickstart this evening, and just to get us into the mood for Rally Monte-Carlo, we are going to relive some of the great moments that we've seen here over the years. We'll see you all later for the opening stage on what's going to be a fantastic event.
As the world's fastest rally drivers prepare to descend on the French Alps for the season opening Rally Monte-Carlo, here's a reminder that high drama is no stranger to this iconic event. There is a reason it's known as one of the classics.
Quickest look after this split. He's quicker than Tanak. This is brilliant. He's half a second up on Oyt Tanak, the former world champion, after 19.1 kilometres.
And potentially that could get a little bit bigger because Tanak had no wipers here, so Teemu might be able to take another second. Oh
no, that's that.
No, that's that corner.
Oh, Teemu.
By nightfall, Sainz and Delacour had swapped places several times, but now Delacour was the leader. Sainz was driving for second place, having seen Delacour take 10 and 14 seconds off him on several stages and being forced to accept he was too quick to catch. And the local support for Delacour was huge. Then at the end of the last stage, Delacour came rolling downhill, 5 minutes adrift, having been passed by Biasion. The Sapphire had gone off the road, the rear suspension had collapsed and both rear tyres had punctured. There was total hysteria as the Frenchman's supporters all burst into tears. Even the radio interviewer was in tears.
Basically, we hit some bump that I did not recognize during the recce, obviously, and I guess we were just a bit too fast, and then basically we hit the first bump, and that already sent us into a wrong line, and then from the second bump we were off, so yeah, it was quite a high-speed accident. Yeah, all the safety equipment did its job, so yeah, I believe we are happy to be here, and no injuries, so it's nice.